Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
There's always just that active and that defending. I think it's like. There's always just that active and that defending. I think it's like. There's always just that active and that defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
I mean, Ian Wright said it there, people, and he said it greatly. People deluded, I'm back again. First things first, as I just said, we're back again. You know, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. Hope the weekend was great for you lot. Hope this week is filled with even better things in your personal and private lives. Hope you and your loved ones are healthy now. It's been a fantastic weekend. Obviously, Arsenal have returned to 3-point collective settings. Obviously, we've got 3 points. We bounced back against Man United and we set ourselves in good stead. 2-week gap, and then obviously it's Spurs and then Liverpool. So again, we take the positives, we take the negatives, and we move forward. The Brentford game was great. Every game apart from the United game was great, and there was some positives and negatives from the United game, but we did lose. We need to take both of that and be that much better against Spurs, Liverpool, etc., people, because it's not going to be easy. There's still 30-odd games. We're looking good. We're doing all right. We've, excluding the United game, we've taken points where we need to take in points. Defense is shaping up. There's good little relationships all over the field throughout the season. You know, Zinchenko when he's been in there, Fabio Vieira, Odegaard at times, and you know, there's more than I can count. Saliba and Gabriel. You know, everyone was been. I got a lot of unpopular opinions. I think Saka's been good. I know he could score more and he could shoot and them things, but I think he's been good. Gabriel has the bozo moments in him, but I think he's been good this season. Mistake against Fulham. Everyone was disjointed defensively against United. I think he was very good yesterday. Shout out Saliba, because Saliba was good. Forget his goal where you can't, he scored. Fantastic bit of play on the ball when he was the last man to actually find Fabio Vieira Fabio Vieira, him and Saka linked up and Fabio Vieira went and smashed it. He got a goal. I think Gabriel did well. And obviously, this is why it annoys me when people say players don't care. Gabriel had an injury going into this game and he's kept it going. Ben White, the same, we hear Ben White not struggling with playing fullback, but the demands is taking its toll physically on him. Saliba, Arteta said he ain't really been training really. People have been putting in shifts. Obviously, Partey got 77 minutes. We all know where he's at with injuries. We know we have, in terms of squad depth, we're not that blessed. I do think there was things we could have done better against Brentford, but we was perfect. 3 goals, clean sheet. Brentford ain't at a scoreline like that at their place since they've been in the Championship. They're one of the best attacking teams in the league based on how they've started this season. Didn't see none of that. Ivan Toney's not tweeting. He's not trending. He's not doing anything really. We stifled their attack. We bullied them in midfield. We dealt with them defensively. And crucially, we took our chances really and truly. Now, much like the Crystal Palace game and things like that, people big up these sides respectfully. And then when we beat them, we more focus on how bad they were. I do think Brentford gave us a bit too much respect. I'll be honest, I don't care though. That's their business. We can't be held accountable for that. We need to start and end the game well. And in terms of game management, probably one of the best defensive performances I've seen this season, really and truly. I can't lie, I didn't think the atmosphere and the intensity from Brentford was there. Thomas Frank in the aftermath to the game is still bigging us up. I think probably that transpired to their team and probably they got us they were a bit shook, but we take that where we can. Obviously, as I said, you've got Spurs who are unbeaten in a hot sec now, whether they're playing well or not. Same goes for us. You've got Liverpool, whether they're playing well or not. And we all know October, in terms of all comps, it's a massive week. It's a massive month. It's a massive month. As I said, it don't matter what you did in August. Don't matter what you did in September. We need to just, survive the winter. For me personally, we just need to get out of this turn of the year, January, still realistically saying the same things we're doing. Partey was solid. To be fair with you, I do think Partey gets the best out of Xhaka and Xhaka gets the best out of Partey. There's been times last season where they were holding each other's hands and You know, that is our first choice pivot. I don't think that is, you know, good enough for Arsenal Football Club. I still think obviously Partey's a quality player. If he's not available for whatever reason, then it's irrelevant. I like what Xhaka brings. I think Xhaka can be part of the squad. He's playing well. Obviously, I think he arguably should be man of the match yesterday, among others. Take part in the voting over there, people. But, you know, we probably need to upgrade on that. And big up Xhaka for his durability. Shout out the Arsenal fans who, you know, we all know we live in a day and age. If you play well, you should be praised. If you play bad, you should be criticised. Obviously, we've drawn a line. I don't like to keep waffling about the fans and Xhaka because it's boring. But, you know, it's lovely to see the chance. Lovely to see Ethan come off the bench. Lovely to obviously score 3 goals. Jesus gets his first goal away from home, really and truly. And, you know, Jesus is a baller in all aspects. Where Jesus is concerned, people, obviously, if he goes and gets a yellow card against Spurs, which I think he will, then he's not playing against Liverpool, really. So we're going to have to do up that one, really. Keep your opinions in that coming, people. Top quality as usual, really and truly. Let me make a timestamp. And just obviously I watched the game again, people. I just want to say some little thoughts on it, really, beyond the obvious. Again, you can check out my reviews already. Again, in terms of my notes, first thing, Saliba boss. That's what I've got. Saliba boss. Gabriel, when focused, is different gravy. If he could just cut out the bozo genes, he's lit. And for Saliba, you're learning good tests. Obviously, you saw what the Prem's about. We failed the test against Marcus Rashford and United and that counter attack. I do think it's not a single player you can blame for that United game. It's more the tactics with Mikel Arteta, because from midfield to defense, our centre backs were wide, our fullbacks weren't close enough, our midfield was all doing other things. But you saw a little test of what the Prem's about against Sancho, Rashford, and whoever they played at the time. Good test against Zaha, where obviously the direct competition was Ben White, who, take nothing away, Ben White had a solid game as well. Also a man of the match contender for me in all aspects, man. Big up Ben White, he's doing well. As much as I'm team Tomiyasu, and I think he needs to be back in that team, you can't drop Ben White at this moment in time. But yeah, for Saliba, you've dealt with Zaha, good experience against United, dealt with Mitrovic, and it's a collective performance. It's not just one person, but we all knew Ivan Toney versus Gabriel or Saliba. That's the sort of headline blockbuster selling sort of thing. Smash the like button, people. And we dealt with that. Like I said, we all were involved. And for me, I loved the goal which Jesus scored, purely because it was a typical Arsenal goal. 14, 15 passes before Xhaka's expertly found Jesus, who's lost his man. That's, you know, if Jesus loses his man, then if you're playing against him, you're in trouble. So really like the performance. I think Tierney did well as well. Obviously, he ain't got the sort of skillers that Zinchenko can come with, but he played as an out-and-out fullback as well. I think he did his best to do the inverted fullback thing to his own way. Ben White, like I said, did well. Ramsdale had nothing to do, but in the second half, literally 2 saves, he had to make them. These things there can change the trajectory of the game. In terms of improvements, I did think the offside flag saved us a bit, but Sambi Lokonga, not to put a negative on anything, but you know, there was a penalty shout, offside saved us. And just for Lokonga to learn, you've come off the bench, be switched on. There's no need for you to be pulling Ivan Toney. And just after that, there was an offside incident where obviously it went for us, but on another day, they might deem that Lokonga, who actually went to play the ball, has touched it. And then obviously Tony's onside. So they were just little bits of moments and pieces. I think Fabio Vieira did well. Obviously, Xhaka helped. Can't even remember now, but Xhaka played a part. A couple of players played a part, but our first goal comes against the run of play. I think they've had a dead ball scenario. We've counter-attacked. I think Xhaka and Fabio Vieira were involved. Ben White and Saka did very well to obviously fashion the corner for us. Saka's obviously found Saliba. Saliba's lost Josh De Silva and Ivan Toney. That's probably why they always say they don't want defenders doing that sort of job. And he's put it in the back of the net. You know, dead ball scenario FC, set piece FC. We showed what we're on. For Fabio Vieira, encouraging, really. I think he put himself about. Obviously, he got a rough tackle and he didn't react well. But I think when you look at the statistics, I think, you know, I do think it's a very English thing and lazy narrative to talk about welcome to the Prem and these things, which is true. But statistically, he was kicked from pillar to post at Porto. So I don't think that's something against him. I think he had some cute touches. I think he tried his best to mimic Odegaard's play and put his own little spin on it, peeling out to the right-hand side. Obviously, he linked up with Saka for his goal. You know, obviously, Saka gets the assist. It's a fantastic bit of play. I just alluded to his involvement in the first one as well. So I think there's a lot to come, but you're doing what you can. And I think it shows that Fabio Vieira can... Fans are scared of depth. I do think they're scared of depth. I think fans can recognize you need depth and you need strength in depth, but especially now, you know, the flavor of the week is going to be, oh, how does Smith Rowe and Odegaard is peak, Fabio Vieira just before that, Tierney can't play, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu. We need a squad. You know, I do think Fabio Vieira can coexist with these players. There might be games where the Zinchenko, the Smith Rowes, the Odegaards and him are all on the field, or one or two or none really. We need options really and truly. You know, again, if Jesus gets a yellow card against Spurs, then obviously he does not play against Liverpool. That obviously brings in Eddie and Nketiah, and that might be able to chop and change little things that could be done. We need a squad. So yeah, Fabio Vieira can coexist with Smith Rowe and Odegaard, or if they're injured, Jesus, just a brilliant player, man. Jesus, just a brilliant player, from the tactical fouls to his link-up play. Obviously, you need to get goals. You know, I did think some is Jesus, so I let it slide, but I think last 7-8 minutes of this first half, we was probably enjoying ourselves a bit too much, and he was doing skills in areas I was thinking, whoa, my bro, if this was another player, I'm not perfect, I might have a lot more to say. Ben White deserves praise again, showing levels in that role. I think you're more suited to right back than centre half. Don't get it twisted. I think you can play centre half. I just prefer you at right back. But again, God forbid, if Gabriel or Saliba get suspended, injuries, loss of form, we need options. Don't forget, Mikel Arteta has never shied away from talking up Tomiyasu's versatility, from right back, obviously, to left back. In his pre-game comments, he spoke about how he can play centre-back. You can't say what foot he is. So, for me, I'm all for, when you've got Tomiyasu, Ben White, Zinchenko, Martinelli, Fabio Vieira, when you got guys that are actually good and can do something, I don't mind them playing other roles. It's historically at Arsenal, we've had strikers that can barely play up front, and we're making them play wide. Do you get it, people, and things of that nature? Saka's quality, then the goals will come, and it is testament to Saka if people think he can go several levels. I don't think statistics tell the full story, you know, but you know, he's chipped in terms of goals and assists, and there's more to come from this 20-odd-year-old, 21-year-old man. Big up Bukayo Saka. I think he's working well this season. First goal is his corner off the back of him and Ben White obviously doing well. As I said, it came against a run of play. Xhaka and Fabio Vieira did well as well in the build-up to that, really and truly. And I think that was the fourth header that Brentford have conceded this season. It was nice for Ethan to make his debut as well, people. I do think Martinelli could and should have scored, but we're doing what we need to do, really. I've got nothing else to really say. In terms of improvements, it's more a grand scheme of things. I think we need to add depth. Anything happens to Partey again, anything happens to potentially Xhaka, Saliba at this moment, Ramsdale, anywhere else, we might be in trouble. Every team could be in trouble, but we need to fix up. I do think players, one thing that, you know, you can never question players' commitments, but obviously players are playing with knocks. Saliba's not really been training and putting in shifts, so imagine what happens if he can train. Gabriel, you saw him, you know, kind of, his thigh was hurting him in the game, and before the game, he soldiered it. We know Zinchenko, when his players dealt with that. We know Ramsdale. Partey did well to get 77 minutes. We also know Ben White and a bunch of other players. And then they got injured because he's playing with an injury. So, yeah, I don't think people should ever say these players don't care. As I said, the only criticism I could see, I did think last 8 minutes, of the first half was probably overplaying, but we showed game management. We scored goals. We won the game. Everybody won their individuals all over the field. We didn't really give them any chances. We didn't allow them or their fans to grow any confidence. We kept a clean sheet against a very good team. You know, Brentford are going to do good things if they stay in this league. They strike me as a very ambitious club. You know, they're going to do good things. As I said, the offsides with Ivan Toney towards the end has to help us. And Saliba obviously did very well as the last. There'll be times where he gets caught, but he did well to evade Ivan Toney for one of the goals. And then obviously, I think that, like I said, I think that was in the build-up to Fabio Vieira's goal. And also, he made some very good, important tackles. You know, Xhaka's importance to this team, maybe we are going to live or die by that, because I do think we need to improve that. But Xhaka does his thing. It's as simple as that, really and truly. You know, and the second one we scored, we had their stadium quiet, as you can imagine, 14, 15 passes from front to back. Xhaka gets the important one. Obviously, well, you could say the most important touch is Jesus' because he scored his header and done his thing, but it was a good little assist from Xhaka. I think both of them players are in my FPL team, so I've got nothing but praise for the boys, really and truly. I've got nothing but praise for the boys, really. Obviously, you know me, I love a good old tactic board thing. But yeah, man, as I said, from front to back, you know, I don't need to put all of the players in. The most important phase for you lot is obviously there's a 1-2 play. Xhaka's already found Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus has made a run from out to in. By the time the Brentford centre-back sees him, it's too late. The ball's in the back of the net. That was obviously the second goal, people. Then obviously the first one, like I said, we broke from one side to another. Ben White and Saka did well to earn the corner. From the resulting corner, Obviously, they're doing zonal marking, and maybe if they had men on the post, this goal is denied. But Ivan Toney and Josh De Silva, are not natural defenders. The corners come in. Saliba's done well. The man's lit in it. Gets his head up, caresses it into the far post. He's probably trying to bring other players in, but they all count in it. And Saliba seems to be the man away from home still. So yeah, he did his thing. Again, it is what it is in that regards. And I wouldn't say the most impressive goal, but yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie, as great as Saliba is, naturally you're gonna smash the like button, people. You're gonna have hearts in mouth moments. And then there was a lovely incident. It looked like Tony might just nick it. Saliba finessed him. Obviously he's played Fabio Vieira and Saka have played a 1-2, advancing the steps a bit more. Saka gets the assist, but it's all Fabio Vieira. He's banged it. It was good play. I really did like the transitional play. If we could just get that to a greater level, just get some more depth, then we have a decent team, man. Really, we're gonna have good or bad stages in this season, but we really need to get top 4. There's no reason why you should not be fighting tooth and nail to get top 4 qualification in the Premier League come May. And Europa League, you obviously want to go as far as you can go. Dream chasing, but I'm an Arsenal fan. You obviously want to go as far as we can go in the FA Cup. And the League Cup, once you're in it, you might as well try. And obviously we've got a young squad. We've got a squad that, yes, you've got Odegaard, who's been around them Champions League winners and things at Madrid. You've got Jesus and Zinchenko, who obviously won a lot at City. Couple of other players have come in with stuff. Couple of these players under Mikel Arteta have won stuff. But when you've got a young squad and you're trying to develop things, the best feeling is winning games, seeing the training pay off on the training pitch when you do the hard task, like we did defensively yesterday. But also when you just win trophies, you're creating a culture, you're setting things up really and truly. Look at Klopp, how much League Cups have him as Liverpool and City dominated and things, and then they've obviously gone and done things. And for a team that a lot of these players have, the potential to go and do that, haven't done that, the quicker you can win these things, the better. The only thing I see scary is the depth. We know when everybody's fit, we can, winning, losing, drawing comes with anything in football, but we know when everyone's fit, excluding the refs, Arsenal can give anybody a game. The problem is you're not always going to have your best players. You're not always going to have Xhaka in form or Partey available and things. So it's the depth. But fundamentally, we can't do anything about that until January. So we're going to have to deal with this October period. We're going to have to deal with the November period. We're just going to have to make it happen. It's as simple as that, really and truly, to be brutally honest, man. We're just going to have to make it happen. Like there's no other way around it still. Nah, it is what it is in that regards, firmly. Like, I don't know why that's not on, but cool. Turn that on. Sorry, folks. Why is this froze? Oh, we're still here. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, man, it's nice to see, but we need to keep going, man. And I've been impressed this season. The problem is, we ain't played 30 games. We ain't played 10, 12. The gaffers himself said, let's see what we're saying after 10 to 12 games. And obviously every game that we move closer to that, we need to see improvements and little bits and pieces and things like that. So it's a good start. I'm liking what we're doing. I'm liking the building blocks, but I do somewhat think we're falling short. But end of the day, we're top of the league right now. The more you can keep winning games, when that inevitable down period happens, we give ourselves a chance. As you know, game management, squad personnel, not signing people in January or in the summer. And obviously our reaction last season to losing or dropping points at various periods, even though there was also periods where we showed good bits of form and winning runs together, that as well as playing away from home and many other micro and macro things played a part as to why Arsenal fell short. So far, so good. We are showing some little improvements in that regards. And I am absolutely buzzing when we play like how we did. That was a perfect performance. That and Bournemouth, I would say, are the most perfect performances. Obviously, we're not going to be like that, but we need to transpire some of that to when we play United at Old Trafford, which you have to wait a year and catch them on the rebound. When we play the Chelseas, when we play Liverpool, when we play Spurs, because we held an L from Spurs last year. They held an L. Again, they don't do well at the Emirates. Make sure that is the thing in it. But this is what we need to do. The things I've just stated, as well as putting in performances against the top 6 sides, we need to do that, because that is what teams that win Premier Leagues, win Champions Leagues, qualify for these competitions and all of these things do, really. So we're gonna have to see, but so far so good. And with that, that's the first timestamp. What are you lot saying before I get into all of this other stuff, people? What are you lot saying? As usual, appreciative to you lot tuned in. One of our best performances this season, as we didn't allow Brentford to play. We won the midfield battle. We were able to play possession football and took our chances in front of goal. Yeah. I do think we could be even more clinical. I do think we could have early on worked Raya a bit more. I do think Martinelli should have bagged like Southampton away. I do think, a lot of shots with the exception of Granit, who can hit them, and Tierney, Xhaka, Saka, there was a lot of them that were ballooning over. I do like the fact that we're shooting, but we do need to be a tiny bit more clinical. If I'm at a push, I still don't think we're created enough for Gabriel Jesus. Like, how many did we really create for him? You gave him a little bit of service and he scored the death header, but we're not creating enough clear-cut chances. Half the time you say Jesus, he's trying to do the wavy Brazilian thing, make a yard of space for himself in the box and try and do a thing. I think to go to the next, and that's been something that's, whether it's been Eddie up front, tail end of last season, whether he scored or not, historically, Aubameyang, Lacazette, or anyone, I don't feel we present our strikers with enough clear-cut chances. So there are a couple of things we can improve to go to. There's always things, you know, we're not Premier League winners. We're not Champions League winners. You don't mention Arsenal in the same way you mention Real Madrid and all of these sort of teams. So until we're in that, you can always improve. And once you get there, obviously you need to keep going. So yeah, man, interesting talking points. Jamrock TV, I see you. Appreciative for you gifting out a community sub. I've just looked over there on Twitch and seen that your support is appreciated, my dude. That intro has to be the best on Twitch. Try and tell me different. I appreciate that. Big up Josh, Stevie, Manny, and Jason. Y'all looking good. Played well. Amen. I need this Xhaka against Spurs next game. Them boy can't chat to the current Xhaka party setup. Again, I hear you, but listen, you don't already know anything can change is an Arsenal minute. God forbid we could wake up tomorrow and someone else has a little knock, like we've seen with Martin Odegaard and things. And again, I'm disappointed, obviously, and it does fill you with nerves when people are not involved, but we've been down this road. We've seen this story. Injuries are part and parcel of this football tick. So, yeah, big up the YouTube members. See, appreciative for your support. Let's make sure we're hitting the like button as we come in. Partey was solid. Make Xhaka excel. Fabio's goal, though. But you want an honest review, listen in as DG dropping nothing but diamond, and we got a win against the Hammers. Appreciative. Yeah, man. Big up Everton, but I see you lot still. It will be. Wenger told them, and then, you know, Iwobi's a central midfielder. He's doing his thing. Maybe things would have worked out different at Arsenal if we wasn't playing you as a 10 / you know, off the left, because his game, he's not a man that's, obviously, now that I say this, he could go and start scoring goals, but he's not a man that's ever going to strike you as someone that's going to bag in the Premier League. Son hat-trick was lit. I wouldn't say it's the best thing, but, you know, Spurs and that. Big up DG, amazing performance from the whole team, even with a few players having slight knocks. Mania said 300 odd more subs for 50k. 50k soon land. Amen. Xhaka redemption is real. I hear that. Fact. Big up DG. Partey silently making us more powerful. Not having him is a big drop in play, as proven by this performance. Amen. We all know with Partey, it's not a thing where the quality is there, but if you're not there, it's irrelevant, really. There is a drop off, like you said. I mean, the North London derbies are always close games at the Emirates, really. You know, it's normally you lot have a Love Island Ute, we have a Love Island Ute. Both of them score is 1-1. You know, we know Son's going to take a tumble and dive. You know, it wouldn't be a North London derby if you lot didn't get a pen. From a selfish point of view, glad White and the Brazilian three ain't going and getting a rest. Not happy with Partey and Saliba. We going with their countries. Charles Watt said that Saliba, he didn't say it, but he kind of alluded to Saliba might, because he ain't been training, that Saliba might just pull out of that. Now, if I'm Saliba, I don't think he will. I think obviously he's a young man, you know, as good as he's doing and building off what he did at Marseille. France are littered with talent. I would personally always want to be there to remind the Champs, listen, yo, you're on me. Make sure that you take me. I'm lit. I'm doing my thing at Arsenal. Everyone said I wouldn't. So, yeah, but you're right. From a selfish point of view, you would love for Saliba to pull out and things, pull out of that. You hope that Zinchenko is good to go and be part of, the Spurs squad in some capacity, whether Tierney gets dropped or not, or we move into midfield. You hope Partey's wrapped in cotton wool because, you know, he got 77 minutes. He's going to go off and play for Ghana now. Could be an issue. Partey at number 6 doing things shows why we need a competent young 6 to learn from him. Amen. DG, would you agree that's our best performance so far this season? In terms of everything, yeah, it's up there. You know, that and Bournemouth, you know, you kept them quiet really and truly. You know, for me, you'd have to really. I would say Palace for me or Leicester. But then again, you know, Palace, apart from we made a blistering first 25, 30 minutes and then probably backs against the wall a bit too much, even though there was positives. I did like the attacking and the middle third against Leicester, but I think why I wouldn't say that is defensively there was a lot of brain farts. I did like the grind and will to win against Fulham and Villa, but obviously, if we're real with ourselves, we made it harder than it needed to be. The only time I was really liked what we did against Man United, even though we lost, was probably when it was 1-1 and you felt we might be able to do a thing there. But between that and Bournemouth, that's it. And that's where we need to get better. Because if you're harsh, Arsenal Football Club, a team that wants to get top 6, respectfully to Brentford, because they're lit. And Bournemouth, you're doing your thing. But if we sit here and say our best performances are against, Brentford and Bournemouth, then we have to go up several levels. Because even if it wasn't, you should respectfully to Brentford, if you want top 6, you need to be winning these games. I was happy. Big up the Arsenal fans, man. I watched the game again just before I came online once again, people. And obviously I can listen to it with the commentary on. And they're singing for young Ethan. He's got school in the morning. Arsenal aways on bad stuff, man. But yeah, man. DG, we are balling. Made Brentford